Hello. Welcome, welcome. I'm Jim, and today we are continuing Torment, Tides of Numenera. At least that is the theory. Let's press the button and find out if it happens. I have no idea what's going on. I hope folks are having a halfway decent Friday. It is Friday, isn't it? Who knows? I certainly don't. Edge in each stat pool acts like a discount. When using points from that pool, it grants free levels of effort or reduces the cost to activate abilities. Got through the whole thing before they went over. Hey, hello, hi. Oh, hey. So, I appear to be having an error of some kind, so let's... I clicked the thing that says wait for the program to respond. Let's see if that actually... Let's see if that actually happens. So we may have to restart the thing. And I'm staring at the little circle that's going round and round and round, waiting with bated breath. See if it's going to correct itself. So we give it a chance for a few seconds, and then if not, I'm just going to restart the thing. Okay, we're going to close the program and restart. Ha ha ha! It is unfortunate. It is not the beach ball of doom so much as the blue hoop of doom that comes with Winders. Let us go ahead and restart this thing. Wait, there it is. Do you ever have so many icons that you never know what to do with yourself? Okay, things are happening, perhaps. Welcome to Torment, both inside and outside the game, it would appear. Let's see. Which is fine. It's probably been some time since anyone's gotten to see this. I see you there in the chat saying that you indeed are an icon, and it is that's when it becomes the most difficult of all, trying to figure out what to do with yourself. So that's I do not envy you that burden. It is a great burden. Okay, I'm gonna try pressing that button again. Let's see what happens. If an enemy is armored, change up the damage type of your attacks with abilities or ciphers to overcome it. Okay, there we go. Alright. Where are we? What's happening? Okay. We are, we're in the Kyurgeon slump. Where we can possibly buy things in exchange for doing things. I'm trying to remember. I'll help you create an essence. Oh, that's right. There's an essence of some kind they wanted to create at the price of something terrible. Perhaps. Unfortunately, I can't remember what that entailed now. Just going to quickly go through the thing. Oh, I see. Yes, that's right. Peel emotions away. All right. That's what I guess the sort of the bloom economy is all about, is peeling away pieces of yourself in exchange for other stuff. But we will perhaps come back for some of these things, because some of these things, as I recall, were pretty cool. Thousand years of rest. Emotions need not be good to be interesting. I mean, well, it depends. Are we talking about good in the, are we talking about good in the, in the sense of this is in the sense of good or bad for us, or good or bad in terms of the way we feel, or are we talking about good in the sense of just sort of watching Vulture-like and getting as much entertainment as we can, because you know. I wouldn't really necessarily say emotions at their core are good or bad. No, you see, I'm speaking more in the storytelling sense, really, than anything else. I am content in consuming this media to be a vulture. But some of these look like they could be quite helpful. But we will come back to this when we get to our shopping phase. I seem to be doing these things in phases.
Of course.
Where I will wander about and do stuff for that. Okay. Oh, we can just go through there. That's good. That helps. We don't have to go past the maw if we want to attempt to appease it. I cannot, for the life of me, remember. There were things that we probably needed to do at some point, and I cannot remember what they were. The maw is adorable. Okay. Find a maw that leads to the trade post. Trade post has been devoured by the bloom. Going to Slayer Bloom guide. The trade post is probably still in. Okay. We know this. Okay. Let's see. Oh, no, yeah, person in slave. Okay, yeah, that's right. We need to do that too. Tell me when. Yeah, okay, that's that as well. Okay, all right. So before we go full on feeding people to things,
I'm ready. I'm always.
we must It's weird, you've got to click on a thing beyond in order to actually access it to get past there. Interesting. Attacking is rarely the only solution to a crisis. Okay, so our last sort of thing we gotta do is investigate this area.
Yes. Now.
The last bit of exploration. We'll take a look there and we'll see what happens. If the enemy is armored, change up the time. Okay. I actually do not have massive amounts of time today, as I've got appointments later, and so I need to be ready to do various things. So we'll see. This wheeled vehicle looks like it was abandoned here during some kind of military assault. I'm actually going to go ahead and save it here so that I don't have to travel through multiple screens. Time to go and see the Murdens. Off we go, murdening. See, there's one. There's another one. This makeshift bed consists of rags, dirty feathers, and assorted junk. As does that one. As does that one. That appears to be... These are doors, and then there's a thing to search through if we get past the Murdens. Let us chat with the Murdens and see what happens. You know, I should have gotten further in. They actually do look like, at this distance, they look like crow people, but you know, like actual crow, anthropomorphic crows. But I assume if we zoom in, it'll look much more terrifying. Two hunched avian humanoids stare at you. Their bright and hate-filled eyes shining above dirty yellow beaks. You recognize them at once. Murdens! They emit a kind of psychic fuzz, a mental blanket that makes it difficult for you to concentrate. One puffs up its greasy black feathers to make itself look larger, while the other scrapes close to the ground. Their arms wave and gesture, and the intent is clear. Go no further! Hey. Your ability to read minds only exacerbates the static, amplifying it to painful levels. It takes a supreme effort of will to shut out the noise. Apparently, reading the minds of Murdens is a bad idea. Ah! Good to know. Let's see. Move aside or I'll tear out your feathers and roast you on a spit. Yeah, we can do that. I'll pay you to stand aside. Draw your weapon and attack. Back away. I mean you no harm. I've come to retrieve the standard for our Talio's irregulars. I guess? One could attempt that. That is kind of why we're here anyway. So with this I can get up to 85. And with this we can get up to 65, so I guess we're doing it ourselves. Yay! Critical success. Stat pool spent on effort restored. One of them points its blade toward the adjoining room. They back slowly and nervously away, keeping their eyes on you the whole time. Good, good, excellent. They are, yes, they are decidedly bird-like. Okay. I'm gonna save it again because I'm going to now rifle through everything. I don't want to have to make that check again necessarily. Alright. Here we go. Murdens. Okay.
Let's go.
Oh, there's stuff. There are shins. And there's concentrated spray flesh, which will be handy. So there are two doors.
Yes.
And there is more corridor. Crumbling masonry serves as a testament to a past effort to reinforce the walls, but the Bloom seems to have other ideas. Yep.
Here comes the boredom slayer.
Oh my god. Alright. What have we here?
You bet.
Seems there are like several doors we should check out.
Yes. Now.
I kind of want to see what's down this way for... Okay, more doors. Alright. And more things to rifle through. Let us rifle through.
Yes.
More shins! Okay. Now that we have the stuff... I hear something. Wait, what? I can hear something moving in the walls. It's coming closer! Someone named Shinwise. Okay. Well, there are a bunch of doors here. Let's see. Do we want to take them in order? We could. Yeah, Shinwise, whoever that is, seems like they're going to be a tad nervous. So let's not disturb them just yet. Going to confuse the program by clicking on it before the little circle goes through. Okay. Okay, I shall now go back and start looking at these doors in order. Skara the Faceless. Oh, right. Hang on. Lest we forget, because I always forget to do this. Let me do that. Let me turn that on for... Yeah, where is it? Where is it? There it is. There we go. Okay. Content warning! For those of you who hadn't tweaked to that yet. There's body horror and biological horror and a number of other things in this game. One day I'll remember to do that before I actually activate. Alright, a cleverly made bed lies at the back of the cell, cobbled together from scraps of wood and rope. Scour the Faceless. This creature stirs and mutters at your approach. Though the form is recognizably humanoid, her head is horribly disfigured. Something has wiped her face clean of features, leaving an expanse of mottled and bulbous flesh, save only a horrifically enlarged mouth and two small holes where her ears should be. She hears your approach and clutches a small jar close to her chest. What would you have with Scoura? Though my looks have been stolen, scribbled away by a million thoughtless particles, I can hear you breathing. I can taste what others can only smell. Your fear, your exertion. She smacks her oversized lips. Tell me, if you had lost your sight, what price would you pay for its return? A new taste, a strange one. Will this one help me? Only one way to know. I give anything, sight is important to me, as it must be to you. I'd pay Shins or Numenera, but I wouldn't run to the ends of the earth to regain the sense. I have others I can use with equal facility. What price? Time only, I suppose. My eyes would regrow eventually. Oh, God. A philosophical question, which means that there are tides involved here. I'm gonna go with the middle one.
Making a note.
That was the red tide. Alright. And, oh, hey, Indiana Jim. Hi, how? Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Who knows? Who knows who is what, Jim? Who really knows? I might have expected such an answer from someone with a strange taste like yours. I would welcome such a gift, but I can tell that you haven't experienced the privation of blindness. She nods toward her jar. This is a piece of the Iron Wind. Oh, good God! Okay, so yeah, the Iron Wind is in the Numenera setting, and it's basically a thing that transforms everything it passes through. It's basically like a cloud of nanites that can go on a rampage and do whatever it wants. It's out of control. Anyway, it is my most prized possession, and I would give it away in a moment if it meant that I could see once again. What happened to you? What do you want me to do for you? Examine the jar. Grab the jar. No. Okay. What happened to you? Yeah, why not? I was a nano once, a researcher of the cutting edge of the science of nanospirits. In particular, I sought to harness the power of the Iron Wind. But the shields, my shields, they gave way around me, and the Iron Wind swirled in and found me. She smiles sadly, her immense mouth drooling. She pats the jar. I captured some of the Iron Wind here, but it still remade me. I was cast out an abomination, and now I skulk and beg for my living. At least the Murdens fear me. And yeah, for those of you just joining us, this is this is a sequel, spiritual sequel to Planescape Torment that came out like a decade or so ago, and it's set in the world of Numenera, which is like between 1 and 4 billion years in the future. I've forgotten how many right now. And there is a phenomenal amount, especially in this part of it, of body horror and biological horror. So just please be warned, and to do whatever you need to take care of yourself. But let's see. It's still okay. Yeah. The Iron Wind pretty much will change whatever it touches. Eridus. So the Iron Wind stole your face? Is it in that jar? If so, can I see? Perhaps I should hold on to that jar, especially if it steals faces. No, but they will eat him alive. Yes, and they will eat us alive too. Yeah. Eridus has issues. Yeah, but anyway. No, Eridus, I think that would be a bad idea. Yes, but you'd have to get Scour's permission. I'm very concerned about which of these, because no, they will eat him alive, and yes, they will eat us alive too. Because that's the thing. That's the thing. This is not quite the solution, I think, to Eridus's problem. That might be a bit of an issue. But we saved the game, so I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Apparently he doesn't hear anything past the word yes, because he moves with amazing speed to take the jar from Scour's hands. Beg pardon, milady, but we can't have the face-stealing jars sitting around and mocking their victims. We'll set this jar right. He gives the jar a solid shake. Is it sealed tightly? It seems a little loose. Sounds like sand is moving around inside. Is that the sound faces make when they're removed? It's kind of whooshing noise. Stop him! We can't! Oh, God. Somehow, with idiot luck, he opens the lid. It fades in a haze of energy, and a wave of grayish-red particles spill out in a vortex of unimaginable power. This was a terrible idea. They wash over you and through you, rewriting your genetics at the most atomic level, changing you forever. Well, that was fun. That is hysterical. There are very few sudden death moves in this game, and we just found one of them. There is a thing that endures, twisted and knotted from cast-off flesh. The Iron Wind has made a puzzle from you, one that asks who was the greater fool, Eridus for unleashing the wind, or you for letting him. Let's load the last save. Let's try that again, shall we? Okay. Back to positions. All right, here we go. Hey, how's it going? We're not going to do that again. However, this does give me the opportunity to get a different tide. Let's try this one.
I'll remember that.
Ah, blue tide. Good, that was the one we wanted. My eyes will regrow eventually. Ha! I might have expected such an answer from someone with a strange taste like yours. I would welcome such a gift, but I can tell that you haven't experienced the privation of blindness. She nods toward her jar. This is a piece of the Iron Wind. It is my most prized possession, and I would give it away in a moment if it meant that I could see once again. Okay. Well, let's try that. And what happened to you? And we already had that. No, that would be a bad idea. She nestles the jar close to her, her hands hovering above the controls. A very bad idea. Stay back, you creature of dancing smells. Good smells, I hope, not like the rest of this place. Or you, milady. He blushes and quickly tries to cover his mistake. Not that you smell bad, all things considered. He hesitates. Wait, you don't have a nose. Oh, God. She shakes her face at him, baring her teeth, and he backs away. My companion Eratus has an interesting problem. I'm wondering if you can help him. What do you want me to do for you? Let's start there. Do you not listen? I am blind and I would see. I don't care how it's done. Restore my sight and I will give you my jar. Okay, alright. Let's examine the jar. Made from an opaque, battered metal, it looks like a repurposed cylinder intended to hold some sort of high-energy matter. Control panels emit small readouts into the air above its surface. The jar thrums with energy, almost alive, and Scoura's lips slobber into a toothy smile. My pride and my punishment all in one, she says. Then she hides it behind her back. And if you want it, you'll help me regain my sight. If not, you'll never know its wonders. Oh, okay. I feel like we don't really need to know its wonders, but... My companion Eratus has an interesting problem. I'm wondering if you can help him. Let us find out, she mutters, reaching out. Take Scoura's hand. But are we going to need him to fight something? I have no idea. Ooh, you know... Maybe I shouldn't have done that yet. Because he's got stuff on him I should have harvested. Well, we'll find out. Okay, Eratus does so with great reluctance, turning to you, not noticing that his glow is flowing up her arm in fits and starts. I don't know why you think I have a problem, he says. I'm a hero, after all. I don't have any... He goes rigid, eyes rolling back in his head. Error, blindness, agony. What are you doing to him? Sampling the nanospirits that have possessed your friend, she says calmly. Tightening her grip over Eratus's convulsing hand, a single tendril of his golden aura sinks into a hole at the crook of her elbow. I need him to stay a hero. He's no use to me as a normal man. Oh, God. How did you sample his aura like that? Always got to go for the blue tide. Sensors and processors in my chest, she says. The iron wind saw fit to merge my flesh with my equipment when it stole my face. She chuckles, and a runnel of drool slips from her too wide mouth. I studied nanospirits, and the iron wind turned me into a living tool to measure the things. Never let it be said that the wind doesn't have a sense of humor. Alright. How can I purge them? You can't, she says, shrugging a misshapen shoulder. They've taken root in him, and there they'll stay. Until the end, of course. She smiles. Now it's my turn. How did you learn of your friend's problem? His original personality is trapped in my mind. I could hear them talking. None of your business! I could hear the narrow spirits talking in his mind. I mean, that too. Is that right? She says, though the information doesn't seem to have surprised her all that much. Then you'll need to find a way inside his mind, or to bring him into yours. And if I'd known you were listening to my thoughts, I would have made them more interesting. Oh, well, you know.
Making a note.
Scoura has the faintest gold aura now. Once there, call them by their names. The stronger ones are the paragons, the weaker ones. She pauses, smacking her lips. The glow around her fades. Cathartics. Call them forth and they will speak to you. Perhaps you will be able to convince them to leave your friend alone. She abruptly releases Eratus's hand and he stumbles back, massaging his wrist. I think I slept. Eratus says in tones of soft wonder. I never sleep. His glow returns, inch by inch. He's coming for us! Are you sure? Yes. Okay. Now, says Scoura, shifting beneath her rags. What else? Grab the jar! No, I'm not going to grab the jar. We're gonna do a recce around the rest of this place and see about restoring vision, and we'll see if we can figure that out. That might open up paths of conversation with other folks. So this area is perhaps slightly dangerous. So we shall keep saving the game, as is our wont. Because it is important. Okay.
On it.
In this room,
In the shadows.
we have things. Beneath the grate, a vertical shaft descends into darkness. Faint whispers echo from somewhere far below. Manacles hang from the ancient stone plinth, but they're rusted and useless. No one has been chained here in a long time. But we can gather stuff here, which is good. More shins! Essence of a single sigh. Ah! The oddities are good in this game because you can make monies off of them, if nothing else, but they're also interesting little sort of pieces of setting. The malachite-tinted bauble filled with ashen vapor pulsates at the touch. When peered at long enough, it invokes an intense feeling of solitude. The examiner never knows whether to embrace it or shun it. Tell me about it. Let me just check there to make sure, as I occasionally will see these messages, and I must make sure the world is not ending or anything. Nope, apparently the world's still turning, so we're okay. Alright. Or, you know, not okay, as the case may be. Take that.
Ready.
Like a whisper.
Really? Then why did you announce it? Never mind.
Let's go.
You're supposed to be quiet like a whisper. Why did you announce that you were like a... Never mind. Doesn't it defeat the purpose when you say what you're doing? Okay. I'm sneaking! This old metal door looks fairly solid. It has a single mechanical lock. You notice the mechanism appears complicated, suggesting that it's more than just a simple lock. Examine the lock more closely. Quick finger, pick the lock, smash the door in. Leave the door alone. Examine the lock. Embedded within the locking mechanism is a thin bladder of air. As you look more carefully, you realize that the bladder is somehow connected to a series of tubes. This is a trap, a cunning, ingenious trap that is beyond the skill of the Murdens. It must be part of the original design of the door. So we shall try to disarm the trap. I can get up to 80% by myself. This person, Eratus, cannot disarm the trap, but well, he can get up to 80. Rin can get up to 90. But let's see how Matkina would do. Matkina can only get up to 75%. That is messed up. She must have more... I mean, ultimately, she could get further had she more edge and or effort, but... Yes, but all your points of intimidation tell anyone you meet. You saw nothing! So we're gonna go ahead and spend out all of Rin's speed effort, so all of her speed, and we'll use it on that. Because 90% is a good percentage. Success! Moving slowly and methodically, you trace the trigger mechanisms to a pinhole nozzle in the front of the door, which leads back to a small reservoir. It contains a dangerous substance that would be sprayed on a hapless victim. After disabling the triggers, you remove the reservoir from the door. You are now the proud owner of a small sack of molecular acid. Immediate sizing. Awesome. So that's a thing that we can do. It's a cipher. And we're going to have to balance out the who's carrying what in a moment. But we're going to try to pick the lock first. Okay. Now if I do it, I can get up to 100% if I spend like 5 points on it. Rin has nothing left. Matkina can get up to 75% with a couple of points. Really need to up her abilities. Hey, how about you? 80%, if yeah, it's not too bad. As these characters advance, it gets better. Sure. Let's go for broke. Ooh, critical. I got those points back. You manipulate the lock successfully, and the door unlocks with a satisfying clunk. Okay. This looks like this is about to be fun. There are people here. People. Strips of flesh have been torn from this corpse, and the eye sockets are empty. Judging by the armor, this was one of the Mamavra's thugs. Is this the other troop of them? Skinned creatures hang from wooden poles, dripping blood on the ground. This room must serve as the Murdens' larder. Ah. Yep.
Done.
Don't remember that.
Two men share this cell. Both of them wear the armor of the Mamavra's soldiers. A third soldier lies on the ground nearby, lifeless. One of the survivors is badly hurt, bleeding and clutching his side. The other, a younger man, appears uninjured. His hands are bound with rusty manacles, and he looks blearily up at you with eyes that suggest that he's waiting for the butcher's blade. When he realizes that you're not a Murden, his face lights with frantic hope. I thank the gods you've come. If you can free us, you name your rewards with Bruska or with the Mamavra herself. How did you get here? We've been on this route for a long time, a very long time. We've never had any trouble with the Murdens before. They always paid their tribute, and we had no reason to think they'd try to slaughter us. We fought back and we survived the fight, but he gestures to his companion. I don't know how much longer you'll survive. We need your help to escape. Zevak's got a family back in Sagus. We've got to get him out of here. How have you been treated? They give us some bowls of slop now and then, but I don't dare eat it. If I used it as a chamber pot, you'd never know the difference. Otherwise, they'd ignore Zevak and me. I mean, if you don't count the time when they came in here and ate pieces off Pale. They're keeping us fresh, is what I think, instead of letting us rot. Our turn will come, I'm sure of it. I heard screaming down the hall. Wonder what they're keeping us fresh for. Yeah. Well, let's free them. This is that other patrol we were looking for. There's a key by the door, friend, he says. Just use that and... Excellent. He finishes as you unlock him and his friend. Can I trouble you for something else? With the shape Zabek's in, there's no way we can get out of here alive, at least not with the Murden guards watching the entryway. Can you do something about them? It's clear, you should be able to make your way to safety. Wait here for now. I'll go hide in the next cell and tell... If you go hide in the next cell, I'll tell the Murden guards that you've escaped. That should give you time. That might work. That might work. Not sure. We could find out. Well, it's a question of just saying we're going to go lie to the guards. Or, if you just say, wait here. Like, I don't know if I'd be able to, yeah, I'm not sure. I need to get a better sense of what's going on. I'm going to tell them to wait for now. Just don't leave us here to die. Just want to talk to them individually. The man's breathing is labored and his eyes barely focus on you. Blood has soaked his brigandine armor. Better off talking to him. He nods at his comrade. His voice is soft, almost a whisper. I ain't got much breath left in me. What happened to you? Double-crossed by the Murdens. Came to collect the boss lady's tribute, as we always do. They fell on us like the mudbirds they are. He puts a hand to his side. Broke one of their beaks with my fist. Got me a couple stab wounds for my trouble. Good thing my kids can't see me now. Right, okay. You have children. Thought we were all faceless goons, eh? He smiles and offers you an unsteady hand. Name's Zebak. I got 2 kids back in Cliff's Edge. Your name is Zebak. I think I met your children in Sega's Cliffs. I knew that name sounded familiar. Zeb and Nim? He reaches out a shaking hand to clutch your shoulder. Are they well? You abandoned them! What do you care? They were fine when I last saw them.
I'm starting to figure this weird place out.
Oh, really? His grip on your shoulder tightens, and his eyes grow wet. Thank the gods, he whispers. If I survive this, I'm going home. Never let them out of my sight again. Don't care what Bruska says. He shakes his head. Time has a way of slipping out of your hands in the bloom, that's what they say. I never meant to stay so long. Let me take a look at your wounds. They fascinate me. Natural lore tells us. Ah, he murmurs, peeling back his blood-caked armor. He looks at you with a mix of hope and dread, probably assuming that you're a healer. Fortunately, you have some knowledge of medicine, or you remember some of your sire's knowledge, perhaps. The soldier's wounds don't smell of corruption, and you're certain they're survivable, but only with treatment, which he won't get until he escapes this cell. I think I can get you out of here. If you can help us escape, better talk to him. He nods at his comrade. Won't be much use, but I'll follow along as best I can. Alright. Yeah, sure. Cough. Cough, cough. Mamavra thug. He nudges his companion, and both of them look at you with hope in their pain-filled eyes. Is the way clear? Did you get rid of the Murden guards at the entrance? Okay, yeah. That's not a bad plan. But I'm gonna tell them to wait here for now because... And yeah, they could wait in the torture room. That could be a thing, but we're gonna... You just don't leave us here to die. No, not yet. But I kind of want to, I kind of want to finish looking around. I need to finish reconnoitering, before I let them out. My keyboard had abandoned me for a moment there.
All right, Rin, you can do this.
Okay, right, Rin. Rin had stuff. Oh, and also, yes, okay. Let's do that. I didn't even see that. Let me actually...
Did you want something?
Nope, nothing else. Okay. Because Ain Tozan we already talked about. But maybe it was just that was maybe her I can level up now noise. Alright, let's... Hmm? Alright. Let us level you up. So what can we do? We can increase edge, we can give extra effort. Or we can do an improved skill. Let me see what skills we have to pick from. So we could up her stealth, which would not be a bad idea. Or her perception if we want. We can give her one of these lures. Or cipher use. Cipher use wouldn't be bad if we wanted to carry ciphers around. Also, we have to figure out about ciphers we're carrying. So this is not a bad idea. So here's where I'm trying to remember. Between edge and effort, so let me actually attempt to use my brain. Okay. The edge is the discount. And this isn't the tabletop game, unfortunately. That's where I'm trying to remember. How does this work? Edge. Edge represents your innate talent with a particular stat pool. Each point of edge reduces the total cost of activating an ability and or spending effort by 1 point. This can lead to abilities being free to activate and free levels of effort. Okay. So less expensive versus being able to throw additional levels of... Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Got it. Alright. So, How many ciphers can you carry right now? You can carry one more. And then we'll have to see. An interesting thing about the companions in this game is that they all of these companions, at least that I currently have with me, seem to have definitive arcs where they're going to have a beginning and an end. Because once we've, and as you can see, we've already been talking to people about Eratus, about being able to, finish his story by getting the. We just go back into our labyrinth and talk to that version of him, his former self, and get those constructs out of him. That way, it is a possibility. Reveres. And Matkina, and once we do that, then he will probably go back home, hopefully. Matkina, on the other hand, quite possibly has a story where she may end up if we come to blows with the Mamavra, because she basically wants to take down the current Mamavra, then she might take the Mamavra's place, possibly. So that will be a thing of concern. But if she does that, then obviously, then she will leave. Rin, of course, the thing with Rin is that she's trying to get home, so we're trying to find a maw that will get her home. I feel like we're going to end up losing Eratus first. And obviously there are practical concerns, like, before we click the option in the conversation tree that makes us lose you, give me all your stuff so that I will still have it. That is a concern. And then when he'll probably be the first to go. And when he goes, then we'll probably bring back in from our labyrinth, so we'll see about that. And then apparently we can use this bronze sphere, I think, to summon forth our previous companions that are not here. So we can gradually fill the spaces. Tiber is still drifting around there somewhere, and will have to travel with us at least for a while for us to complete the quest that involves him, which involves turning him over to a guy, which we may or may not do, depending on how things go. But Tiber is really good at manipulating people, which is kind of why I've been wishing that I'd have him around for a while. But then we also had Castellage and the other guy, whose name is lost because it has been months and I can't remember. But we can't have both of them at the same time, unfortunately, because they are enemies at this point. They used to date, now they're enemies. That's often what happens. So we could fill basically 2 slots, maybe 3 slots at a time if we end up with and because Um's kind of a part of us. I don't see leaving. And then of the people Journal, Codex, Allegairn, that was his name. There it is. Companions, here it is. So we could eventually end up with a party that looks like and Tiber and Castellage, I think. But Allegairn, I think, actually does have an arc that might end at some point. I'm remembering something about stuff. That makes a lot of sense. So, might end up that way. But anyway, enough of that. Let's go back to advancing Ren. But yeah, I figure we're probably gonna lose Eratus first, and then replace him with and then we'll see where the rest goes. Rin, advance. Okay, I'm gonna make her able to carry. For the time being, I think I'm just gonna let her carry more ciphers. And then next, I think, is gonna be Edge after that.
Maybe this won't be as hard as I thought.
One would hope. Now you can carry 2 more ciphers. Oh, 5, 6, and 8. 3 more ciphers. Excellent. Where am I with my cipher limit? I can carry 1 more. Because I just picked one up. I'm carrying 7 ciphers. She right now is carrying 5 ciphers. I actually think I will give this one to Rin. Because that she ranges around quite a bit, so that's more helpful. Okay, if we end up doing battle, which might not necessarily be the case, and I'm very glad that's not necessarily the case. But and it might not necessarily be the case, but you know how these things go. Okay, let's advance Matkina. All right. So let's see. Edge, effort, ability, or skill. What could we do here? We could increase... neither of these, apparently. Quick Fingers has been coming in handy. But I've been using it more with me than with anyone else. Deception, running, cipher use. What abilities would we throw in? Had we the option? Ability to improve, increases accuracy 50%. Haven't you been saying, Jim, by the way, that you really need to increase her maximum effort? I have. Though improving warp dash would be freaking awesome. Yes, okay. She has maximum effort of 4. Let us up that. Because the effort is how far we can... how many of those little dots we get rather than the discount, which is what the edge is. Her edge right now is 0, though. Let me compare. My max effort is 5. Well, it'll be edge or effort. One of those two. Her edge right now is 0 on intellect, but it's 2 on speed, which is actually more what we want to use her for anyway. Let's up the effort.
My enemies will fear me.
Yes.
Fear me more, I mean.
Sure. Okay. That's done. Excuse me, hang on. Lungs. Okay. Now that we've got that done, we're going to go ahead and, I think, save over the last save, just so that we have that there. Recon. We're actually doing the recon now.
Alright, here I go.
Okay, so that was the last... yeah, okay. I can hear you out there, please. Okay, who's in there? You know, something else occurred to me. I know. We gotta confront Eratus' audience in the labyrinth. Scauro was able to put a name to the demons, the nanospirits plaguing Eratus. They are the audience, made up of the paragons and cathartics. I need to talk to Eratus' reflection about this. Okay, yeah. And what the winds took. Skara, a hideously disfigured woman I met in the old slave block, has lost the ability to see. If I can restore her sight, she'll give me her most prized possession, a metal jar containing nano spirits of the Iron Wind. Find a way to restore her sight. She didn't give me any leads, but a healer of some kind might be able to help. Okay, got it. Yeah, I'm thinking of back in the Kyurgens, maybe? But, we'll see.
Of course.
As you tug on the heavy door, a panic-filled male voice calls out to you. Hello? Is someone out there? I know you're not Murdens. I can't feel their blasted metal noise, and by all the gods, I hope you're friendlier than they are. Please! You have to help me. For the love of everything you hold dear, please open the door. Dear gods, let it be a rescuer. I don't want to die. Who are you? My friends call me Shinwise. Please, I don't want to die. Open the door. What's trying to kill you? I don't know. Tentacled things that hang around the edges of the room. There's blood and bones all over the floor. The Murdens threw me in here and locked the door behind me. I think I'm supposed to be some kind of sacrifice. Okay, we'll try picking the lock. Now, I could make it to 65%. And Matkina could now make it to 80%. Yes, that was well spent. Yeah, because without that, it would have only been 60. Now she can make it to 80. This is why we hired her. Success! With a click, you unlock the door and it grumbles open, revealing an emaciated man in tattered rags, a look of profound shock and fear on his face. Behind him, blood and bones litter the floor. The man is short and dark, and his face is scarred and disfigured. One of his injuries is freshly branded on his cheek, a stylized blade with blood dripping from it. He wears the ragged clothes of a bloom slave, tattered and filthy. He tries desperately to push past you. Let me out of here, I beg you. This is no fit place for a human. It's gonna kill me. I cannot do anything to get out of here, even if I have to kill again. Before I let you out, I need you to answer some questions for me. Someone put you in there for a reason. Push him back into the room. Step aside to let him go. Let's try the reasonable approach. He glances over his shoulder, his nervousness apparent in every twitch, and you can see him evaluating the possibility of just bowling through you. His mental calculus complete, he inches closer but shows no signs of trying to bolt. All right, but please make them quick. I don't want to be eaten. Tell me what's in the room. Why does it frighten you? He looks at you with incredulity. The floor is covered with blood. The bones are snapped in half, and the smell of death is everywhere. He breaks off and looks behind him, apparently distraught. I don't know what's in there, but I've seen things. Tentacled things moving around the edges of the room. Is he insane? How does the room not frighten him? You know, you've seen one bloody room strewn with bones. You've seen them all, really. What are you doing here? You know that auctioneer outside the Mamavra's fortress? The one with too many teeth? He sold me to a merchant, supposedly to open a maw. Then the merchant sold me to the Murdens. Ah. I remember that auctioneer. That's not even legal. Nobody's allowed to sell slaves to the Murdens. Oh, great. He swallows and glances over his shoulder again. The Murdens threw me in this cell. Have you seen the blood-spattered bone-strewn room with shadowy tentacles? I know, it's one must have the utmost of consideration when decorating one's room of horrors. I suddenly cast another slave into this room before me. I heard her screaming, so much blood. He looks imploringly past you. Please let me out. Who are you? I'm Shinwise. I got caught by the levies when I nicked some sleep wine from my old mother. She's dying and I couldn't afford a Kyurgen. And I'd never done it before. I thought I'd take a chance on bloom slavery to pay my debts and get back home. I never dreamed I'd wind up here. Will they buy it? It shouldn't matter. Nobody deserves this fate no matter what I did. Oh, yeah, great. I believe you. I totally believe you. So I have an idea. I don't know if the game will allow me to do it, but I'm thinking of it. Just using him to distract the Murdens, let them catch him. but while they're dealing with them, let the others escape. We'll see. What's that symbol on your cheek? That's the mark of a murderer, Matkina says at once. Even if a killer survives Bloom's slavery, people will always know who they're dealing with. They use a special brand that shines through makeup and disguises. She chuckles at some secret joke. The brand's no match for Castoff constitutions, though, no matter how many times they try. Ah, yeah. No, we knew Matkina has been assassinating people for a very long time. The little man's eyes dart left and right. He licks his lips. It's true, I killed a couple of thugs in the underbelly, but it was them or me, honest. Folsom turned me over to the levies because the ones I killed worked for him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have cared. I have no more questions. Does it mean to let me go, please? Please! So, here's the thing. On the one hand, we could push him back in there. On the other hand, we could just let him go. But we would get into trouble with the Murdens, quite possibly. But what the hell, we saved the game. It's only a conversation tree. And rolls we have to make again. Okay. I'm gonna let him go. I want to see what happens. And I could push him back in there, but then I might have to fight him, which probably isn't going to be too big a deal, but... Without a word of thanks, he bolts past you down the hall, vanishing around the corner. Thank the gods, I may be a killer, but I don't deserve to die like that. Gold Tide raised a moderate amount. Dang it. Flee, run into a new life, be happy and good. That is if being good is the right thing to do. Yeah, great, yeah. They don't seem too bothered. They might be when we go and talk to them again. Okay, so now we have a delightful bone-strewn room with the idea of tentacles inside it. I don't see them all in there, but there's stuff to rifle through, so we can do that. I'm going to save the game again. I'm going to put it in a new slot, a new save slot, because that will be helpful here. Is it scary? I don't know.
Fine.
All right. There doesn't seem to be much to do in here other than to rifle through that pile over there. Wherever that is. That pile. And examine those pillars.
You want it done right.
We're going to come around the edge here. Whoa. Something about this room feels off to you, a sensation of being watched and evaluated. The blooms, walls, bulge and press, glistening with faint sheen, like they're beginning to salivate. Ah! This space has somehow begun to wake. Great muscles contract in rippling peristaltic wave, trying to pull you further into the room. Your instincts scream of danger to your companions. Get out of here and let me face this alone. I don't want to endanger you. Prepare to fight whatever comes, or back out of the room. Dang it. Alright, we're going to back out of the room for now. You cautiously retreat and the sense of looming danger begins to fade, but even from the edge of the space you can tell that the room is awake and that its hunger has not disappeared completely. I wanted to examine this first, if I can. Manacles hang from the top of these plinths. Blood and viscera cover the floor around them. Okay, that's all it was. Alright. So we have a thing to fight in here. Before we can plunder that.
Trust and honesty are our bonds.
That's good to know. I'd rather not fight them with Rin's speed and my might all the way down right now. I'd rather sleep first, then come back and fight whatever's in there. So we'll do that.
Look out below! Above! Sideways!
Now, couple things. I'd actually like to try talking to the Murdens before we set up the plan for these couple fellows to escape. Leaving-ish, not quite leaving. Because I think that will... I want to see, first of all, how they reacted to us letting that guy go. The Murden draws back from you, hissing, and it looks nervously to its comrade on the other side of the room. It emits a burst of metal static that feels like trepidation. You don't want to talk to me, do you? Again, the creature glances at the other bird and hisses at you and waves its arms to shoo you away. Alright. We may only have so much we can do here. Let's go ahead and set this plan off. Go hide in the next cell. I'll tell the Murden guards you've escaped. That should give you time. A solid plan. We'll wait for you there. When you give us the word that the way is clear, we'll make a run for it. Alright.
You won't notice I'm gone.
I'm going to talk to the other Murden. Hey, wait a minute. There's another room down there. The Murden puffs itself up, its greasy black down expanding as its beady eyes size you up. You note that this creature is slightly larger than its comrade. It croaks a harsh and glottal challenge, and a burst of mistrustful static fuzzes your thoughts. Where is your leader? The Murden ducks its head, bobbing from side to side to keep you in view, and points its wicked blade toward the adjoining room. I didn't realize there was an adjoining room. Your prisoners are gone. The creature looks at you blankly for a moment, then darts a quick glance at its comrade. You sense a staticky a staticky psychic exchange between them, and they turn and dash down the hall.
Yes. Now.
Now would be a good time. Distracting, can we make a break for it? It's clear you should be able to make your way to safety. Have our gratitude, friend. Farewell. It keeps raising my gold tide when I do good deeds. Helping strangers escape certain death in a gloomy dungeon? Definitely heroic. Oh well. Oh well, so much for that.
Why, of course.
So we just had that quest updated. Now that I found both patrols, I should return to Bruska and tell her what happened. Yep. We must save. We must save always. Adventure games have taught us this. All right. So we have done the escape. Should we try talking to the Murdens? His.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So apparently there's this other room down here that I just completely
Let's go on.
just didn't even
With me.
check out. With more Murdenses. That seems safe. One does not simply talk to the Murdens. One can't, yeah. This makeshift bed consists of rags, dirty feathers, and assorted junk. Let's see, there's stuff back there we could interact with, possibly. There's a translator. There's a Murden chief. Murden, Goose. Oh, wait. Consists of rags, or feathers, sort of junk. Yeah, yeah. It's a thing with a bunch of holes down there in the center. And a translator. Okay. Well, let's go say hi. Hi! Yes, I think so too. There's a phenomenal amount of hissing going on. Oh, and acts. Okay, yes, I agreed. Acts, yeah. Hi. The Murden chief. The larger size of this Murden and the gray down that tinges his beak and eyes gives him a more stately and menacing look than his compatriots. His clothes are less tattered, and he projects an aura of command. As you approach, he hisses at the other Murdens, and the annoying mental static dies down considerably, leaving only his singular field as a sharper source. The noise whines and scratches in your head as the chief speaks. The human woman at his side speaks in a dull monotone. The last man to say acts is, to me, paid dearly. Yes, I know, right? The translator. A squalling blast of static, and then she says, "No. Pretty cloth from drinking man belong here. Right of theft. If drinking man want it, he steal it back." Ah. If you return it, you'll gain much respect, possibly the friendship of Artalia, more freedom to roam the bloom. If it is theft, I take it from. Is it theft if I take it from your bloody corpse? Give it to me now. Let's see. Let me ask about something else. I mean, we could try persuading. We're so good at that. I am tempted to ask about other things, but yeah, we'll see. So, oh, this isn't going to go well at all. That's going to be a hard sell. All that to get up to 20%? No, that's not going to work out at all. Yeah. I wish I hadn't gone that route. Okay, this is probably going to fail. Failure. The Murden chief hisses angrily, and a burst of metal static follows. No human. No human. If drinking man want cloth, he can put drink down and come. He can take it back. If he steal it, it is his. If he not, it is ours. No trade. Another burst of static. Maybe I need new speaking human shell. Drinking man not use brain anyway. Wonder if his brain tastes like his poison drink. The gathered Murdens hiss in approval. Yes. Eat drinking man brain. Ha! Show humans who rule here. What I'm wondering is if this is one of those things where I should because once again, we think about this. Or I should hold off, wait, summon Tiber in. You know, after we've gotten rid of somebody. Use him to get past them. There's also, like, there are items we can use to make ourselves much more convincing. But I feel like we weren't supposed to succeed at that, so, I found the soldiers are imprisoned, and I set them free. You had no right to mistreat them. Let's not tell them that. Who is this woman who speaks your words? The woman stands impassively as the Murdens buzz static through several irritating frequencies back and forth. At last, the chief's mental buzz cuts through them all. The translator recites the words without feeling or awareness. This is not woman. Shell is empty. Woman is gone. Why you speak of it as human? It is machine. When it expires, we'll find new machine. We not speak human language. We buy slave. We fix slave's brain. Slave become machine. Machine speak human. She pauses while the chief clacks and hisses. Slave not need whole brain anymore. Excess brain was tasty. Okay. Tell me about your people. The young woman waits for a moment while the chief and his underlings hiss and click back and forth to each other. What to say? We are Murdens. We hunt, we find, we take. Humans hate us. In world outside, we flee from them. Here we rule. Her shoulders roll in obscene imitation of an avian shrug. Here, humans fear us. What is that static in the air? Upon hearing your question, all the Murdens in the room begin cackling and shrieking. Ha ha ha, says the translator in a monotone voice, barely audible over the noise. Translator? Yes. Oh, hey, Ozzy. How's it going? Yes, well, this particular translator apparently has had her brain hollowed out and is just a receptacle for others' words. So, does it feel that way? Because, you know, that could be an accurate description of the job for all I know. When the Murdens have settled down, sounds like a typical day at work. Yeah, the process hasn't changed much in 4 billion years. When the Murdens have settled down, the harsh static of the chill of the chief fills your head. And then the translator speaks. That is our thoughts. That is how we speak. No need for clumsy words like you, stupid human. That's fair. I am here for the return of Artalio's standard, the flag in your nest. A squalling blast of static, and then she says, No. Pretty cloth from drinking man belong here, right of theft. If drinking man want it, he steal it back. Indigo tied one up, eh? Farewell. The day just finished, so your brain is sleeping. So your brain is seeping slowly back into your skull. Farewell. Yes, go. We have a couple of options here. We could have either Rin or Matt Kina try to sneak in and steal it, if those are their rules. The trouble is, yeah, if I actually go physically to pick it up, I think they're probably going to try to kill me. I would prefer not to be killed, or not to have to whittle myself down in fighting. The translator, this slim-fit young woman would be attractive if it weren't for the blank stare in her eyes, the spit drooling from her mouth, and the poorly implanted devices that protrude from her skull. Let's not judge, okay? Let's not. The area around the implants weeps. I'm actually not really kidding about that, but the area around the implants weeps pus and some strange clear fluid. It does not appear that she has been mistreated in any other way. No bruises or scars mark her otherwise smooth flesh. Unsurprisingly, you can read no thoughts of any kind from her. What's your name? She stares blankly. You can see the slight pulse of her heartbeat in the veins near one metallic nodule on her forehead. And she breathes, but lacking these signs, only the thin stream of drool gathering mass at her chin tells you that she lives. I ask you what your name is. The young woman begins to bark and choke a little, bending at the waist as she spits out a guttural string of hard consonants. A moment later, you realize that she is merely imitating the Murden chief, who has been watching your interactions with her. The Murden is struggling not to laugh out loud, so are the rest of the Murdens. Their mental static barrages your mind, filled with savage glee at seeing the human make a fool of himself. The Murden chief's voice comes through the woman's mouth. Do you speak to empty bags, to corpses? Do they answer? Empty husks not speak. Those wanting answers won't speak to me. Yeah. Sadly can't say dinner demands to be cooked. Oh, no. Thank you very much for stopping by, Ozzy. I appreciate it. Go forth. Go forth and slay the dinner. Yes. ... Okay. So, good to know.
Like a whisper.
Good to know. We will figure a thing out shortly. I do kind of want to see what happens when I try to touch the pile over there. But, Murdens is...
Find him. Something to do.
A battered standard lines the edge of the Murden chief's nest, covered in his filth. Its cloth is torn and ragged, but it remains largely intact. Perception. It looks like it might be the missing flag of which Artalio spoke. So we can take it or leave it alone. See, and I have a feeling if we click on taking it, then that will start a fight. Take the standard. The Murden chief clacks its beak and hisses at you, waving its jagged blade menacingly. The burst of mental static from its mind is acute, and nearby the human's shell jerks into life. Do not defile our trophy, human. Taken by right, it is ours. Right of property, right of law, right of trophy. Punishments come for those who ignore. Okay.
I'm ready.
Nope, just checking.
Yes.
Where next?
All right.
I'm ready if you are.
I want to see if we can use an ability of yours.
Yes?
Apparently I can't use it right now because we're not in combat.
At last.
Okay. That's okay.
Let's go all. You and me.
Alright. So. That completes the exploration of, I think, everything pretty much. Yeah. The Murden's larder, the Murden's lair, Scour's abode, the scary place, the vast interior. So we're going to want to sleep before we do any fighting, which we will have to do over here. And I kind of feel like there's a way to better persuade the Murdens. And I actually also have to wonder if I want to, yeah, if I want to not spend that intellect on trying to overdo it there. I'm trying to persuade them when I have perhaps other means of doing that soon. Also, do I have any items that help me to persuade people of things? Or is that something I'd have to pick up? Also, there's a mirror we need to deal with that we picked up recently. This one, I think. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, we don't actually have an item that does it, but I think there's someone selling one, like a cipher or something, that gives you the ability for a few days to be incredibly persuasive. So, we might go for either that or seeing if we can bring Tybra back. Kind of wander around from there. Okay. I think that's what we're going to do. Quite possibly. Unfortunately, I am running out of time, so I actually am going to probably need to stop shortly. Yes. Yeah, I think that I'm gonna... What I'm probably gonna do is actually... Yeah, I'm gonna save here. I think we're gonna come to a halt here. And, then go forth and do these other things. Note to future self. Who will have forgotten all of this next week. That we need to... You know what? Let me actually get to somewhere that... Let Let me get to somewhere else. Let me get to somewhere else real quick. Before I save the game. As a way to kind of help my brain see. Oh, wait, we did that already. Okay. There we are. Because, you know, sometimes you need little prompts. Little prompts. Okay. It's now time to do things. Very soon, anyway. Alright. And that shall be that for now. Let me see here. Okay. Hey. Well, that was actually kind of fun. We made progress. We finally finished exploring the last part of this map, so now we can mess around with stuff a lot more next time, and just sort of figure out what we want to do. We have a few possible lines of things we can follow here, and try to deal with it. So we've got some options. Also, we need to go back to Bruska and actually talk to Bruska, because they might. She might actually give us access to the Mamavra, which could open something else up. So that's actually something I do need to consider. But I've been doing this now for about an hour and a half today, so I do have to get going, as there's more stuff on the horizon. I got meetings later. Right now on the channel, we have not a lot happening. On Tuesday nights, when we're available, I am running an Urban Shadows game set in present-day Rome. And then, aside from that, I'm doing on Wednesdays, I've been playing City Skylines, and on Fridays, I've been playing this. More stuff is coming within the next few weeks, and more shall be said of that when that arrives. But in the meantime, folks, this has been a lot of fun, getting to hang out and get a little further on this. We're getting closer to the end. I can feel it. Very excited about that. But folks, I will see you later. Take care. And I'll see you all of a sudden.